Morning, YouTubers. Good morning, YouTubers. This is ShallowCross Sports Network with the Double A, bringing you another show. We're going to touch on what happened this weekend with the Tennessee Volunteers, and we're going to get right on into the show. Good morning, YouTubers. Again, this is the ShallowCross Sports Network with the Double A, bringing you another show. I'm going to talk about Tennessee real quick here, and tell you a little bit about what's going on and what the outlook is going to be for the game coming up against East Tennessee State on Saturday. So Tennessee won the game against Syracuse 45-26, and they played fairly well. Aguilar showed that he could play in the SEC, and he threw the ball very well. He made good decisions. Early in the early going, he had some overthrows, but he missed those. But he was able to hit some good throws and complete some passes that really helped Tennessee win the game. And then what was most impressive was his passing game and the decision making he made, no interceptions. And then secondly, the running game. Running game was absolutely fabulous. And they did some things that they're going to have to do against Georgia. And as far as running between the tackles, the offensive line blocked very well. Even with David Sanders out, I think Perry filled in for him perfectly. And of course, Lance Hurd, that's the best I've seen him play since he's been at Tennessee. And of course, the guard play was very good. The center play was real good. And the tackle play right and left was good on the offensive line. Receivers, they showed up. And they can show up even more because there was some missed throws early on, but I think he did a good job of hitting the tight end and hitting Staley and Matthews as well as Brazel, and so they did an excellent job. And of course the defense wouldn't let up. The only thing that bothered me about the defense, they gave up some yards through the air, and and that's because they had to play a freshman, Richmond. He played very well for a freshman, but now they're saying Ricky Gibson is out for an extended length of time, so Richmond's gonna have to answer the bell. And then Tennessee does have some flexibility in the secondary. They have Brew Carter can come in and play that star position, which is like a monster man position back in the day when I played, like a good hard-hitting tackler, and that's basically what McMurray played on Saturday. And so they can use McMurray at the corner, or they can use him at the star, or they can use Brew Carter at the safety position. Colton Hood, he played extremely well, transferred from Colorado, and he showed he's a cover corner, and he learned a lot about playing cornerback out there at Colorado. And of course, Willie Martinez is doing that fabulous job with all those guys in the secondary. And so they played well. They're going to have to be a little bit tighter because they gave up a lot of passes to Syracuse. Defensive line has some injuries too. Nate Robinson's still battling got a big old thing on his hand. He's still battling that. And then you got the defensive tackle out. He got hurt right there in the beginning of the game. Moe, I think his name. I don't know if his name's Moe, I believe. Anyway, he's hurt, And then of course they had to play a lot of people. They played Jamal Wallace. They played all the edge, played a bunch of edge rushers, and they did well. Ross did well. Weathersby did well, as well as Joseph. And so at the strong end, of course, Dominic Bailey and Tyree West had to play some defensive tackle during that game, even though they're strong ends. Linebacker play was very exceptional too. They did real well. I think they only gave up 93 yards to Syracuse on the ground. So that's a pretty good showing. The other big news for Tennessee is, and we're going to get into the details of the game, but the other big news is Tennessee was able to flip 4-star edge rusher Hezekiah Harris from Auburn. He's 6'5", 235 pounds. He's almost 6'6", so he's going to turn into a very good player. He's going where he can be developed. I think you have Marion Harvey, you have Coach Chop there, and then you also have Rodney Gardner there, and of course Tim Banks. Those guys are going to develop. They're developing that defensive line. They're developing the linebackers, and along with Coach Martinez, they're developing all the secondary folks. With that said, I'm going to bring over look at here, see what ESPN has. So ESPN has some results here, and of course Tennessee Aguilar passed for 247 yards, 18-28, 3 TDs. Star Thomas led the way in rushing with 92 yards on 12 carries. And then, of course, Brandon Staley had that long bomb that was thrown to him for a touchdown. He had 95 yards on 4 receptions. And then, of course, Jalen McMurray, he had 1 sack at the defensive backfield. Aaron Carter had 9 tackles, 3 solo. And, of course, Syracuse, 274 yards passing, 91 yards. I think they gave up 93 yards rushing total, from what I understand. And then D. Wilbert, the tight end, he had 55 yards, 5 receptions. And they didn't get any sacks on Tennessee's quarterback, so I tell you, the offensive line play was fabulous. And of course, D. Reese, defensive lineman, he led the way as far as tackles for Syracuse. And just looking at the overall, like I said, Tennessee racked up 495 yards total offense to 377. They need to get that down. I think if they can get that 77 yards shaved off, that was all through the air. They could do a better job on defense. But with young defensive backs, we'll see what's going to happen. But Tennessee needs to play everybody this weekend. As many of the young players as they can, because they're going to need them down the stretch. Tennessee got beat in the time of possession because they are upscale, fast-paced offense. They only had the ball for 25 and 29 minutes. And then, of course, Syracuse had the ball for 34 minutes and 31 seconds. So overall, I'm very satisfied with the game. We got ETSU. This weekend. And ETSU, they won their game against Murray State. Tennessee's a different competitor than Murray State. And so we're going to see how that happens. Injury report. Right now, it looks like Jordan Thomas, he's been out all year. And Jamal McCoy, don't know when he's going to be back, but he's out there running and everything. I think he might be ready for Georgia. Ricky Gibson's out with a looks like an arm or an upper chest injury. And the coach said he's going to be out for extended length of time. And then, of course, David Hobbs, he probably won't be back into the Mississippi State game. He's got some problems, I think, with his foot, a leg injury, a foot injury. And then, of course, Jackson Moore, defensive tackle, he's going to be out with that arm that he had hurt early on in the game. So that's the initial injury report. Now, Nate Robertson came in and he got hurt a little also while he was in there. So we don't know if he's going to answer the bell or sit out this game coming up against ETSU. But what we probably need to do at Tennessee, we need to make sure we get all of these players with ailments well as much as we can before we play Georgia. And if you have to sit some of those guys that's injured out, that'll be a good thing, because we need to play all the young people. All the young freshmen, they need to be ready to go. Just like Coach Hyper was saying, you don't have no time to be young. You got to be ready to go. When the bell is, when the bell rings, you got to be ready to step out there and go. And of course, that's one of the big things for the Tennessee Vols. And but anyway, the Vols moved up in the ranks. I'm thinking they moved up in the ranks from 24. It was 18 in the coaches poll and 24 in the other poll that they have. And I don't know where Tennessee's ranked right now. But and of course, that Mercedes-Benz game only had 45,918 people, and it didn't fill that place up. And so, but I know that Neyland will be filled up this weekend coming up. And then a lot of good football play by the Tennessee schools this weekend. Anyway, I get into each one of those teams later on in another show. And just looking at the defensive line, they may have to play some guys, probably Campbell and Ethan Utley. They're gonna have to play this week. Go on and put them in there against ETSU and see what they can do. And because you're gonna need them down the stretch. And same way with the linebackers. We get people hurt. The young people got to be ready to go in there and play. But with that said, this is ShallowCross Sports Network. And remember to like and subscribe. And we'll have more in an upcoming show. And that's going to end this show. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.